What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Technical's YouTube channel. Now, before we get into Kyle's interview, this is a deck list that he used to get second at Iowa State, and as you see, it is another Yveltal deck, but this time it's a little bit different. He actually plays Dedenne to actually counter other Yveltals, and I guess you can train me if you want to. He does play one Mewtwo, and I ask about this because Mewtwo seems pretty interesting, but he gives a really good answer. And as you see, he plays one Battle Compressor, which is kind of cool because you can either put energies or supporter cards in the discard pile depending on the situation. He plays a split of the escape rope switch, first layer to get more darks out quicker, and he plays 4 Acro Bike. And I ask about this because this is really interesting tech, and he gives really good answers to it. Well, I guess an answer, but he talks about it a lot, and I think the card is really good, considering where our format is going with executes and everything like that. But hopefully you enjoyed the interview, and thanks for watching. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Technical's YouTube channel. Today we're doing another State's Question Answer video with Kyle. And Kyle, where are you from?
Springfield, Missouri.
So, where did you play it last weekend?
Iowa.
Okay, so how'd you end up doing a Swiss?
I am going 5-2 in Swiss.
Okay, so what were the decks that you played against, and did you win or lose them?
Okay, round 1, I went against another Yveltal Seismitoad deck. I won the match 2-1. Then round 2, I played against Executor, and got pretty unlucky on flips in game 2. Anytime that he needed crushing heads on a double colorless, he got it in game 2, which was a little unfortunate, but clearly Executor's a really good deck. Round 3, I played against Mewtwo, Toad, Garbodor. I won it pretty quickly just because I started Mewtwo one game that he started Mewtwo, and I had the ability to win on turn 2 with DC's Muscle Bands, Lasers. And game 2 of that match, I won just by setting up an Yveltal really fast. I just had really good starting hands. Okay. Round 4, I lost a very close series against Landy Bats. In game 3, I started with Mewtwo, did 80 damage with X-Ball on Elandris, and was going to have the ability to knock him out with Seismitoad next turn with the Muscle Band for 100, and he has Super Scoop Up Heads. And then on the next turn, I decided, and he ended me, so I was no longer had the Muscle Band in hand, so I decided to attack with Mewtwo again to set up, hopefully in our knockout by getting Muscle Band next turn or laser damage adding up. And he hit Super Scoop Up Heads again, and then on the next turn, Super Scoop Up Cycloned to just wipe off just tons of damage off the board. So a little unlucky on my part, and missed a few cards after that to not be able to come back. Round 5. I played against... Can't remember.
That's fine, it's fine.
Okay, I win that matchup, so I was 3-2. Then I played against a Austin Bags playing Seismitoad Dust North. That's what he was playing. And game 1, he started Seismitoad active, Dust North on the bench. He gets me to take away like a laser and acro bike to take away like what looked like a strong turn 1 play. But I top deck escape rope and had only a baby Yveltal as my active. I escape rope, attach a dark to kill his Duskull, so he wasn't able to set up Dusknoir later in the game, which was significant in the fact that he just wasn't able to manipulate the damage like he was his plan was. And then in my last round, I played against Fran Vance. This ended up being a win and in round since multiple people decided not to ID at the top tables for some reason. I could be wrong. Maybe it wasn't safe to ID, but I thought it was. So it turned into a win and in round, and he was playing for his Genesect. And I remember these games a lot. Game 1, I start with Jirachi EX, and he starts Virizion and is able to get the Emerald Slashes going early. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to lose this game. And I lost it pretty quick. He got G-Booster as well after Jirachi got out of the active. But what I did realize in Game 1 was how good Baby Yveltal is in this matchup. Because I am attaching a Muscle Band to Yveltal EX and a Dark Energy on one turn, when I realized that I could have attached the second Dark to Baby Yveltal active and the Muscle Band, did do 50, and then on next turn attach another Dark and do 120 to knock out a Virizion EX or Genesect EX. And that is what just absolutely won me game 2 and 3, was the fact that I started Baby Yveltal in both games, so lucky me, and plus the fact that he only got 1 Emerald Slash off and had to knock out a Baby Yveltal with his one Genesect that he got to set up those games. Okay. So I was able to wipe the board. So Baby Yveltal, very good. And that's what got me. And with the win in round, that put me at 5-2, which got me the 8th seed.
Okay, so you barely made it in. That's very nice.
Yep.
So, top 8, what are you playing against?
Play against Executor. And this match, very funny. Game 1, he starts no supporters and 2 executes. I get the first knockout. And then he keeps getting more basics, and I just keep knocking them out. He's not getting much. He finally gets support, starts kind of setting up, but it's never safe to really play Executor, and I had just a board with so much energy that the only way he was coming back was if he hit 4 Crushing Hammerheads, trump carded, biked into all 4 of them, and hit all 4 of them again. That's the only way he was winning that game. So game 2, pretty much the same thing, only I start Seismitoad instead of Baby Yveltal, so I was even making it worse for him. And eventually I was able to set up a board that was a Seismitoad active with a DCE and Dark with a Dark Ground bench with a Dark Energy attached, and 2 Yveltal EXs with 3 Dark Energy attached. So he was not escaping anything coming back in that game. In the series, I think he got 4 blockades off in total. So very, very unlucky on his part for his dead draw, and it made me feel bad.
Yeah, but it happens sometimes in Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah. It does happen. So I just wonder if that was a consistency issue or a very unlucky issue.
Yeah.
But, so.
So now you're moving to top 4. What are you playing against there?
Top 4, I'm playing against Rithkey, playing Seismitoad's Slurpuff. And once again, opponent dead draws. In total, I knocked out 3 Sorelixes and a Seismitoad to win the series 2-0. He just dead draw again, and I did not dead draw, and that's pretty much just how the series went. Was I started Seismitoad EX game 1 and knocked out 2 Swirlixes. Game 2, I started Yveltal EX to his Seismitoad, got more energy than he could handle in my starting hand, and was able to knock out Seismitoad EX and only had to knock out a Swirlix. So super, super unlucky, both of my opponents.
Yeah. But we'll take it. So now we're on to the finals. Your opponent's that unlucky. Is your opponent this unlucky this time around?
Nah, unfortunately not for me. God forbid I play a real game of Pokemon. But I'm playing against Ryan Grant, playing Executor, who I had lost to in round 2 to the unlucky flips, like I said earlier. And this time it was a lot more 50-50 on the flips, which means with Executor, being such a good deck that it is, it usually only needs that unless I can set up really well. And my game 1, he wins. He goes first, so he's also able to limit me to just 1 supporter the entire game. And in this game, he was able to constantly get out Executors. He never missed a beat on game 1, so which is what the Executor deck is supposed to do. So that was just probably his consistency in his list, I'm sure. Game 2. This time I start with Seismitoad EX, and I'm able to knock out some eggs and his Squirrel early, so he wasn't able to get out Dragalge later, which was big in that I was able to take prizes on small things early. I was able to play items, and in this game I drew into a lot of energy. Acrobikes helped me draw through the deck to get energy, computer search for Professor's Letter. I was just constantly able to get energy is the point. So, and he wasn't able to play his trainers because of Seismitoad. Sure. And game 3, once again, I start with Seismitoad, so I'm feeling really good because his start is just 3 eggs. So I'm feeling confident at the beginning, but his hand was actually pretty good in being able to get Executors out, and him going first, he once again limited me to 1 supporter in the game, but he wasn't able to get Muscle Bands and Lasers, so he was super slow hitting my Seismitoad while I was able to use Lasers and Muscle Bands to knock him out earlier. So but this game, the unfortunate part for me was eventually weakness, and doing 20 damage is still enough to knock out Seismitoad eventually, and when you're only taking 1 prize every 2 turns, he was eventually able to catch back up, and this game I did not draw the amount of energy I did in game 2, which caused me to not have energy after my Seismitoad got knocked out, which meant that once he got his Crushing Hammers going, all he had to do was hit 50-50 heads and he would win the matchup. It might even have been less than 50-50 that he hit to win that matchup, because when you just don't have energy, you just can't win against Executor.
Yeah, that's very true. But still, second place is very good, so congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
So, you talked about the Acrobike, and you did play 4 of that. Why was that? Was it for the Eggs deck, or was it because of something else?
I really just like the regular bicycle originally in the deck list, and it came to all of a sudden realizing there's enough Toad in this format and enough Executor that's locking my hands up to large sizes. So it was either that I just play enough. I had a mix of hopefully playing enough supporters in my list and ways to get supporters that against Seismitoad I'd have be able to play supporters during my turn to get to the energy, which is the most important part in this deck. Mm-hmm. And against Eggs, being able to Acrobike to hopefully discard supporters, because I remember a lot of times in my 3 matches in total I play against Executor in the tournament that Acrobike helped me discard a lot of supporters and get to energy faster. So it came down to Bicycle or Acrobike. Bicycle, like I said, I had too many cards in hand to play it. There's enough Toad. That I almost didn't even play the 4 Acrobikes because of Toad, but then I saw that it was kind of dwindling down in the amount of play. So Acrobike all of a sudden became a decision that I tested with a few days before the tournament and realized that I'm drawing through my deck really quickly. I'm playing all 4 every game, it seems, and I'm able to get all the stuff I need. And it's very helpful just going through your deck fast.
That's very true. Now, why did you decide to play the 1 Mewtwo in your deck? I know most Yveltal decks don't play Mewtwo nowadays.
It was a tech that I had played earlier this year. I pretty much played Yveltal all year, and I remember it being helpful as a decent starter with the fact that he played DCE, and something else to get around the techs that people are liking to play, like Raichu and Dedenne. Raichu, Mewtwo with a DCE and a Muscle Band or Laser Bank knocks out Raichu's, and doesn't get that return knockout easily. It also helps against the Lucario and Lando Bats, so my Seismitoad handles Landorus, my Mewtwo handles Lucario very easily. Laser Bank and Muscle Bands just add up to so much that Mewtwo ended up being... it's also a really good starter too, if I start with a DCE, because just starting with that damage, if it's just that it's like another kind of like Seismitoad or Mewtwo thing. They can both attack with DCE early, but Mewtwo does a lot more damage in that case.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, you play the 1 Switch and the 1 Escape Rope. Why did you decide to split it like that?
I just realized that there were, through the first 2 weekends of states, that the first weekend I played only 1 Escape Rope, and realized that I do need more Switch cards. And it came to debate in my head, do I want to play a second Escape Rope, because it's really good in the utility of it, but sometimes you just need a switch because, like against Executor, you don't want them to all of a sudden be able to switch to like a Virizion or Genesect that you can't knock out either. And I realized if Executor is as popular as it's getting, or like popular enough to where it's going to be at the top tables because it's a really good deck once again, I need to be able to just simply switch out. So I might even switch that second Escape Rope to switch because it might be a little bit more helpful.
Okay. Now, you played 1 Battle Compressor. Was that more for to discard supporters or discard like Dark Energies?
Both. It seemed like almost every game my discards were like 1 supporter and 2 discards with it, or 2 Dark Energies with it to the discard. It helps so much against Eggs, helping your baby Yveltal have some energy acceleration, because you need that energy acceleration to force them to hit 100% heads on their turns to hopefully run you out of energy in the game. And just playing 4 VS Seeker. I almost think any deck that I'll ever play that has 4 VS Seeker, I'm always going to want to run at least 1 Battle Compressor in, just because play Battle Compressor, instantly 4 more targets in your deck for supporters. And then just also after trump cards, discarding useless cards in your deck. I know after some trump cards, I would just discard 3 Ultra Ball, for example, after my field is already set up. No reason to have those. So also Insta-1, I was never drawing into my Ultra Balls again. Okay.
Now, I guess this is like a 2-part question. Why did you decide to play Yveltal this weekend, and why did you not include Garbodor?
Okay, so Yveltal, I just feel very confident with the deck. I've played it all year. It's gotten me now over 400 points this year, so it's really helpful. It's something that I just feel comfortable with. I feel I have a really good list for it. I feel that I'm consistent with it. I know the math, and it's something that, like I said, I felt comfortable with. The reason I didn't play Garbodor was because week 1 of States I played a 2-2 Garbodor in it, and it just didn't seem like it was helpful quite enough. That consistency wouldn't also help. For example, in week 1 at Missouri, it helped me win against Lando Bats by just making it where they couldn't use their bats. It helps it can help sometimes like shut off opponents' Jirachis when they're needing to Jirachi. But I was thinking, like, if I'm really wanting to shut off Jirachi, why not just play like one Silent Lab as well? Which I also decided against because of deck space for consistency. I value consistency a lot here, and just like through testing, like so there's other decks it helps against. I just felt that the amount of deck space just wasn't worth it when I could just put in consistency, like 4 Acrobikes, or make sure I'm maxing out my VS Seekers, or 4 Sycamore 4 and 1 Colress instead of like 4 Sycamore 2 or 3 and 0 or 1 Colress, like some other decks I have seen deck lists of that might not be as successful.
Okay, that's very true. Now, you talked about that you've won 400 championship points with Yveltal. How many championship points are you at right now?
444.
Woo! 444. So, are you going to go any more states this weekend?
Yep, I'm going to Kansas State this last weekend.
So, are you going to play Yveltal again, or is there any other decks that are piquing your interest?
More likely, Executor has piqued my interest. I'm just like bad at making deck lists. I think besides Yveltal, I feel, and maybe even this list, like people will look at like, what on earth are you doing, Kyle? So, but I've been working on lists, so I might change to Executor, but I don't know. I'm just not quite as confident with the deck, and if I do have to hit. I was also looking at how many heads I need to hit to pass on Crushing Hammers and how often I need to draw it, and I just didn't feel like it's consistent enough where if I'm fixing on this, I can hopefully beat Executor. I really nearly did beat it in the finals. It just came down to a few top decks that and just a few flips that maybe if my opponent was just slightly less lucky, or if I was had gotten something more like my game 2, which I'm still trying to decide if that was just strong luck on me drawing into so many energy to have, or if that was a consistency thing in my deck. So that's like what I'm trying to do is analyzing in the game is, am I being really consistent? Are my opponents being consistent? Or is it like just a lot of luck that's going either way? And how can I improve my luck with consistency?
That's very true. So do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Shout out to Colton Day and Matt Haverland. I've gone with them to a lot of tournaments now, just all the tournaments this year, and they're great testing buddies. I enjoy having them as friends. Well, my brother and friend.
Alrighty, man. Well, thank you so much for doing this, and good luck next weekend at your states.
Thank you very much, Squeaky.
Alrighty, take care.
Take care.